Hey modders, really sorry for the delay in this episode. If you were following us on Instagram, you'd see I've been down with a chest infection for a little over a week. But we're here now, and we have the second part of The Tales Were True. As mentioned at the top of the last episode, this is one of our bonus recordings we've done with Kimberly, the author and creator of The Tales Were True D&D 5e supplement. We've really enjoyed recording this, and we hope you guys are enjoying listening to it. If you've also not seen it on our social medias yet, we are currently running a massive giveaway. This is by far the biggest giveaway we've done yet. This is to celebrate a number of things. The completion of the first story arc of Season 2, hitting 500 followers on Instagram, although actually at the point of saying this, we're now up to 600 followers, I believe. As well as hitting over 20,000 downloads, I believe, on Buzzsprout since we moved over to them. So we're just so incredibly chuffed that you guys are still listening to this, and we hope that you're still enjoying it now. As I've mentioned a couple of times before, there are a couple more bonus things I'm trying to get sorted out, which will hopefully go up in the coming weeks. There will be one more part to this Tales Were True game. I did cut this one a little bit short just to try and get it out, because like I say, I was late putting this up, so I've tried my best to get it up. With that said, let's get straight back into the action in this part 2 of The Tales Were True.
But as she's flying away, Moist Jack's going to look at the two of you and say, "Is that sort of normal around here?"
Yes, I suppose.
I wouldn't know.
Stop looking at me.
He drops his eyes.
Toad is my friend now.
The Toad is just getting side eyes you and goes, "I don't think so."
Silent. You're mine now.
He hops. If you're going to get on the guy, he's going to hop off. He just like hop towards me.
Splat.
Yeah, very much splat, splat, splat.
Anyway, yes, so she's very big. She's just flown off. And would you like to go on towards the farm?
Yeah.
Hop, hop, with your toad.
Splat.
You follow the little trail of tiny little footprints, and you soon come to an iron gate sit between two kind of stone pillars, and they're the only visible opening you see in this giant hedgerow. The hedgerow is really quite tall, very prickly. Tacked to one of the pillars is a sign that says Prickle Point's Farm in neatly painted letters with a bell to ring below it. And beyond the gate, you can see glimpses of farmland and some cozy buildings here and there. Immediately beyond the gate, let's first drag you onto the map so we can see what you see. You should now see Toad. Oh, you know what? We're even going to give him just the giant Toad picture because it's such a good look.
There we go. I'll do lovely.
Just imagine him like a wee version.
Yes.
Of that, yeah. All right. Okay.
In fact, actually, do you know what? I've now decided he does in fact have a top hat, and he's even though he's a toad, he has a strange resemblance to the Warner Brothers bullfrog. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Yep. All right. Excellent. He's a very dapper toad. Okay. We have a toad. All right. So, as you approach the gateway, if you want to move a little closer.
So we can come in range of their attacks? I think not.
Well, what you see through the gateway there, you see a rather large, shaggy, white, old sheepdog, a wee little hedgehog, and a sheep wearing some spectacles. And they're all talking very excitedly, and you catch some words like, "Cookies! Evil cookies! They just ran this way! What's going on? What's the world coming to?" But as you approach the gateway, the dog turns to you and he lets out a woof and runs forward. And he says, "Were those your cookies?"
No, we were fighting them as well, just down the road.
Are you sure? Because you smell like cinnamon.
That's because we killed some of them. Toad sort of leans forward. Yup.
He nods at the toad. Well, all right. If the toad's going to vouch for you, I'll take that.
Yup.
So what are you doing here then? Are you maybe here to catch the rest of those cookies?
I start to look to Morwen to lead, and then remember she told me not to look at her, so I was to look at the ground again.
We were sent here to find some cookies.
So at these words, the little hedgehog suddenly yells, "Pickleball!" Rolls himself into a ball and rolls right up to be next to the dog. And then he leaps to his tiny little hedgehog feet. Goes, "Hello, I'm Frankworth Prickle Points. And I tried to catch one of the cookies, but it was really, really fast, so I couldn't catch it. But if you're going to catch them and you want some help, I could help you. I could definitely help you. I could probably bowl them over, especially if you keep them talking. They were really nasty. They said some mean things on the way. But if you're going to kill them, I want to help."
They were very mean to Morwen over there. I just sort of tangled them up in some weeds to stop them running.
The sheep kind of trundles forward a little more slowly. She sniffs. "Well, if you're here to help, that's fine. We'll let you in then. If you're not here to help, you can go about your business. But I wouldn't mind a hand with those cookies. I saw them head off towards the field. But you said something about being sent here. Who sent you?"
An elderly lady sent us over? Shouldn't she have? Is that not the right thing to do, or?
Well, I don't know that I always trust old ladies. But I suppose if you're here to help, that's a good thing. I'm not as worried about the cookies. Certainly if Luna Moo comes in contact with them, I bet she can eat them up. So I do have some other things if you're willing to help. I'll let you choose. We do like helpful people, because sometimes we need a hand. And she kind of stomps her hooves then. Because as you can see, we don't have any. So, if you're interested, going after the cookies would certainly be helpful, and I know Frankworth would like to bowl them over. She kind of gives Frankworth an irritated look. But other than that, we've been having some problems with the old farmhouse. Strange noises coming from it. And we need access to the well because the weather's been so bad. So if you'd like to handle that would be very nice.
I certainly wouldn't mind helping with the well. I'm quite used to damp places, water.
Yeah, Matilda peers at you through her spectacles and seems to get a first really good look at Moist Jack, and she backs slowly away. Well,
Jack looks visibly upset.
Well, she says, if you say that's your specialty, then I shall certainly trust you. Well, that's okay. I mean, other than that, Grenian over by the pond, he's been saying something about a missing golden ball. And let's see, and Moist Jack, with his passive perception of 15, notices that when she says golden ball, that Frankworth, the hedgehog, suddenly turns a slight shade of pink and kind of rolls himself up a little bit, as if he was embarrassed. Or something else, maybe. And as she says the name, almost as if he heard it, two figures appear on the road. One of them looks like a giant walking frog. He strides forward. He's wearing plate mail and just looks quite regal and upright. And next to him is a fellow that looks quite a bit less proud, shall you say. He looks like he might be a druid or something of that sort. He's got leaves in his hair, and he's holding a notebook, and he's scribbling furiously in it. And as they approach, you can hear them talking a bit. The frog prince is going, yes, we should deal with that first, but what do you think, Rigo? And the fellow with the leaves and things in his hair goes, well, they're most interesting. I think if I could dissect one of them and eat them, or maybe I could even figure out how to bake them, because what an amazing thing they are. And what if we added some blackberries to it, or some different things? We could make different flavored little running biscuits, and maybe it would change their attitudes. I just don't know. Very, very interesting.
Once the frog in armor steps into view, Toad on my shoulder goes, Ponce.
As the frog, the walking frog fellow sees you, he stops and executes a very deep bow. He says, well, it seems the farm has some visitors. Greetings to you. I am Grenian Royce, and who might you be?
Jack absolutely waits for the other two.
I'm Morwyn, here to help with the cookie problem.
I'm Corinne, also here to help with the cookie problem, I guess.
Oh.
I'm Moist Jack. I'm here to help as well. This is Toad.
Yeah. The froggy fellow hops forward. Well, I'm pleased to meet you. Anytime somebody comes to the farm to help, that's a wonderful thing. I mean, Grigo's come, but I can't say he's much of a help, honestly. But if you would like any assistance today, I can accompany you, or Grigo. And the little hedgehog now leaps up again and says, or me! I could do it! Ooh.
I think this is probably one of the first times you actually see Jack get a little bit more forward. If it looks like Grigo is a druid, he's going to be very self-conscious about that, and Toad doesn't apparently, for some reason I've decided, like the other guy. So Moist Jack will immediately be like, I wouldn't mind Frankworth's help, if that's okay.
The hedgehog jumps up and down in excitement. They picked me! They picked me! And he runs up to the hedgerow and he says, well, come on then. Where are we going? Are we going after the cookies, or are we going over to the farmhouse? I think the farmhouse sounds super scary, so I want to go. But I also really want to eat some of those biscuits. You smell like biscuits. So what do you want to do?
Remind me what the goings-on at the farmhouse were.
Well, it's been abandoned for a long time, says Frankworth. Since you've picked him, he's happy to tell you anything at all about the farm that you would like. As a matter of fact, he's going to give you a very quick rundown on what's at the farm. So he draws a sketch on the ground using, and you notice now that he's carrying a tiny wee little crossbow. And he says, all right, so you see, you're here. Which is 1, which is at the gateway. This is where Sir Ruff lives. So 4 is that's the abandoned farmhouse, and it's got the well. We haven't been able to get to the well because there's something really scary in it. But you guys all look really big, and some of you look kind of scary. So I think you could do it. There's also a barn, because of course there's a barn. It's a farm. It's at 12. Then there's a little cottage and a forge, and that's where Hugo and Jasmine live. There's the hill, where you can see everything on the farm, but watch out for bees. And then there's the lodging house. So if you stay, that's where you can sleep. Rigo stays there. He snores. But if you put cotton wool in your ears, you won't hear him. And we've got lots of wool, because we've got lots of sheep. And then there's a pond, and Grenian's hut is there, because frogs like ponds, don't you? And he turns to the Toad.
Try it.
Yes, it's lovely and damp. Smells a bit like fish, but you know. And then there's fields, of course. So, but the farmhouse, it's been abandoned for a really long time. But the noises there have been getting louder. And Matilda here says we need the water from the well, but nobody wants to go draw it.
I mean, like I said, I don't mind going looking at the well, but if we want to do as the old lady asks and get the cookies first, I don't mind doing that either. Just gonna fool Southern American now. Deep South.
I think that we should eliminate the threat first, and then take care of the well afterwards.
The Frog Prince goes, yeah, the Frog Prince looks at you and nods and goes, a very sound military strategy indeed. You must have some experience, Mike.
I do. Do you also have experience?
That I do. I grew up in the royal city of Braun, and I've had training in many things. So if you yell, I shall come hopping.
It would be an honor to battle beside you.
In order to
fellow
fight
soldier.
you, come on.
Well,
Yeah, I'll let. Can Corinne roll me a history check?
mm-hmm.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh dear, 9. -1. That's good.
Yeah, you don't recall anything in particular. But he seems quite regal in his bearing. The sheep steps forward, though she stops just shy of the gateway in the hedgerow, and she looks at Morwen, and she peers at her through her spectacles, and you notice that one side of the spectacle seems to have almost like a rainbow glow about it. She takes a really long, hard look at you. Cursed, weren't you? Both of you, she says, looking from Jack to Morwen.
I mean, Jack just kind of looks down at his hands and just is like, yeah, no shit.
Well, nothing to be ashamed of. Granian here, he's cursed as well. You don't suppose he was born looking like that? Most frogs don't grow quite that big, except for giant toads. But then they just look like toads. They can't fit in armor. You can try and squish them in there, but it's a bit like trying to put pudding in a tin of biscuits. So, you know, if you do help us out with all these things, I know somebody who might be able to help you with your curses.
I mean, I'd be mighty obliged if someone could help with this.
So what about you, young lady? Is your curse one that you wish to get rid of, or is it one that you wish to keep? I can see both.
It's an interesting question, because there are people who told me when I was growing up that it was a horrible affliction, and some who said that it was a useful tool. I've used it as both, and I don't know, to be honest.
I see. Most of us here won't be too affected, but she kind of clops over. That you notice that the branches of the hedgerow seem to almost lean towards her as she nears it. She leans forward and she sort of whispers in her little sheepy voice, "I'd leave your mask on around Grigo, though. He's human and susceptible to things. And I don't know that you'd want him following you around like a lost puppy." Sir Ruff seems to have heard this, and he goes, "Who are you calling a puppy?" But anyway, she says, come on in, take Frankworth with you. He's quite useful. Try not to step on him. It'll hurt. He's got prickles.
We'll do our best, I'm sure.
Alright. Frankworth says, well, I think I know where the gingerbread men went, because they headed towards the fields. And I'm pretty sure I heard Badgerface scream. So, they're probably that way. Do you want to follow?
By all means, lead the way.
Alright. Sir Ruff heads back to his guard post. You notice that he has a little dog bowl there, and it's full of something purple. So come on in. Grigo kind of points you down the road that way. And at any time, if you guys want to look or inspect anything, just let me know.
Yeah, Morwen's going to have a quick look at the purple liquid.
It smells like blackberry wine. And now that you're closer to Sir Ruff, you notice that he's got a bit of like a purple bib going on under his chin. And if you take a look inside his little like doghouse, it's got one of those Dutch doors where the top opens and the bottom opens. But glancing inside, you can see that it's got like kind of a cozy bed with a shallow box and blankets, and there's a low table with a food dish and a water bowl, also filled with blackberry wine. And then a carved wooden shelf near the bed holds a miniature portrait showing a small girl with a pink ribbon in her hair, and she's cuddling a tiny sheepdog puppy that you suspect was probably Sir Ruff in younger years. But in pride of place next to that is a wire rack with several wine bottles with pictures of blackberries crudely drawn on them in various years. I see you admiring my collection, he says. Come back and you can have a drink. Don't know if it'll go with cookies, but you never know, it might.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of when he says cookies, Moist Jack's going to recall a little bit of the conversation Grigo was having with Greenian, and he's going to walk up there without saying a word, just like fish in his pockets and pull out the 2 crumbs that he has and just like reach them to Grigo.
Oh, how fascinating. So you must have killed one of the creatures earlier, is that true?
Yeah, we killed a couple. I apologize, but the damp smell is me.
Grigo kind of takes a long sniff. Pond water.
River water.
Oh, I was so close. Well, lovely. Are you giving me one of these biscuits as a sample, or were you just showing them to me?
Well, you said you wanted to dissect one, so here, you can have some of my crumbs. And I just give him one of the 2 crumb things that I have.
Oh, thank you so much, says Grigo. And he takes it, and before you can say much else to him, he starts wandering off, sort of zigzagging as he's writing in his journal, and he's like, you can hear he's like sniffing the crumb. He's like, okay, smells of cinnamon, smells of clove, and he might even like touch it to his tongue a little bit. He goes, slight tingling sensation, and he's wandering off as he inspects it. And Moist Jack gains +1 trust with Grigo's guild, so you've now just gained some trust with the handlers.
Ooh. That time, even though I don't know what it means.
Yeah, one of the things that we're building into this game is it's sort of like a renown type of system, so there's a number of different guilds and organizations and groups of people, and if you do things and you hit certain levels of trust, then different things happen and you get more quest opportunities and maybe some boons. Definitely if you do favors for Mother Goose, you have the opportunity to get some interesting things. And not that for one shot you'll be doing a lot of that, but anyway, Grigo is very appreciative of the cookie crumb, and he wanders off tallying up things. And I just noticed we have 2 Corinnes, and there's another one lurking off to the side. You've got a twin.
Doppelganger,
yeah. So, are we off to follow Frankworth to the field where he said somebody named Badgerface had probably been screaming?
Absolutely.
Follow the hedgehog. Yes, Frankworth leads you to a farm field. There are many, and as you walk through the farm, you realize that the animals are working. the farm. Much like people, you see some freshly tilled fields, and up ahead of you, you see a few more of the gingerbread men spread out, and depending on how tall you are, over the sides of the hedgerow, you hear the bleating of some sheep, and one of them, a really ugly sheep. You probably can't see him from where you're at the moment, but you hear a sheep going, "Stay back! Stay back! I have hooves and I'm not afraid to use them. Or maybe I'll run, but stay back, you evil cinnamon things." So I don't think actually the gingerbread men have seen you yet.
That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks so much for sticking with us. Like I said at the top of the episode, we have one more part to this story to come out, which will hopefully be out in 2 weeks. Before I talk about anything else, I just want to shout out a massive thank you to Nerdius Maximus. The music you heard through most of this episode was created by him. He creates some amazing music for use in TTRPGs and podcasts, just ambient music you can run while playing your games. You can find him on Patreon. I will have a link for that in the description. So just want to say thank you very much again. I think it worked really well in this episode, and I'm looking forward to using more in the future. As I also mentioned, we are running our biggest giveaway since the podcast started. For the full details, you want to go and check out our Instagram page. We are just at ModifedRoll on Instagram. But we're giving away 4 prizes this time, not just 1, 4 prizes. These include a set of hand-poured, sharp-edged resin dice from our lovely sponsor DN Dice, and in the ModifedRoll colours, no less. We're also giving away a bottle of the Arcanist Rum. This is our new sponsor, Arcanist Rum, the pineapple-infused rum elixir. We'll also be giving away one of our t-shirts with the lovely art created by Jeff. It's the You Can Certainly Try one with the beautiful, beautiful design he's done for us. And finally, we will be paying for a sort of bust-style art portrait commission from Jeff. This will be in the same sort of style as our character art that we've done for Season 2. But obviously that one, there will be a little bit of back and forth and a bit of time to get that one sorted, but we will be covering the cost for one of our lucky winners. All of the ways you can win are detailed on our Instagram page, but basically head to the Instagram page, find that pinned post about the competition, like it, comment on it. You don't have to tag people. We just want to make sure that people are actually interacting with the post and they're real people and not bots. So just leave a comment. It can say literally anything. But you'll also get additional entries if you leave us a review anywhere. I've said this before, every time we ask for reviews, it helps us a lot, but if you are going to leave us a review, make sure you let us know, whether that's commenting under the post on Instagram that you've done so, or sending us a message on our Discord, just because there's no good tool for aggregating all reviews at the minute, so we actually don't know if you're leaving them, if they're not on the iTunes page, because we don't get notifications about them generally. But that said, head over our Instagram page, you can enter there, and good luck. Before we let you go, we do have a promo for another podcast to follow up here. This is the Monsters Playbook, so stick around to listen to them. And finally, just before I sign off today, I want to shout out an amazing event that I'm going to be part of in September. I am going to be a player and backup DM for a charity livestream. This is a livestream for Movember, but it's being run and sort of hosted by a bunch of DMs from Rolldark. This is the professional GM group that I do a lot of my freelance DMing through. And they're going to be running a 24-hour charity live stream split into 4 segments. We're going to be getting on a bunch of different guests to come on and play as the various characters. I'm currently one of the players, but I'm also there as a backup DM, and we'll be doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. So check out the link in the description, where I'll have a bunch of details about that and links to the social media pages for that event. But we hope you'll come along and watch that. Like I say, it is a 24-hour stream, so it's going to be running from 6 p.m. on Saturday the 9th, I want to say, of September through to Sunday the 10th. And it's just going to be a whole lot of fun, hopefully. And hopefully we're going to raise a lot of money for a very good cause. But that's it for this week, guys. Thanks so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.
My name is Johnny, and I'm the host, executive producer, and Prince of Lies for the Monsters Playbook. What's the Monsters Playbook? It's an actual play Monster of the Week podcast set in my hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota, where no monster can hurt you as badly as you can hurt yourself. It's a character-focused adventure where you'll meet Kira Ashwood, a journalist with a cult past she's desperate to atone for, and a secret power hidden even from herself. Casey Davis, a taciturn secret agent becoming disillusioned with the agency she thought she could trust. Theo Nessos, a professional sorceress trying to escape the shadow of her powerful magical family. And Mark Clayton, a pretty haunted introvert who just wants to make sense of his powers and all the weird things that keep happening to him. This is a show where danger could just as easily come from an otherworldly threat as from the fragile emotions that anchor our characters and bind them together. If you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Dresden Files, or any city-set supernatural story with monstrous threats and messy feelings, check out the Monsters Playbook. New episodes every other Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.